Well, Mike, you're applying for a job to be the next mayor of Austin. Why should people support you?
You know, I've been on the council since 2008, but before that I served as an Austin firefighter. And so I'm running for mayor with that same mantra in mind, that no one gets left behind. And my time on the council has been a true record of fighting for middle-class working families in Austin. And I think that's what they need in the mayor's office, the strongest voice possible, defending the middle class, fighting against special interests.
What would you do to help the middle class if you're elected?
I'll continue doing what we've already started, and that's making sure that they are earning a fair wage for the work that they're providing. We fought for things like a minimum $11 an hour minimum wage, providing prevailing wages to construction workers, ensuring that companies provide health care benefits, domestic partner benefits, OSHA 10 safety training. Those are the policy initiatives we fought for. We fought against payday lenders that overcharge consumers. We'll continue to make sure that those hardworking, everyday Austinites have the strongest voice possible.
So you think the mayor of Austin could make that happen?
Absolutely. I was able to make it happen, and I wasn't the mayor. I was a council member. It took 19 months, and it took a collaborative effort of joining with community groups and other community leaders. But we put together an economic incentive policy that completely revamped the way that we look at companies when they want to come to Austin. Now they're going to have to provide those wages and those benefits, and absolutely you can do it as a mayor, but you have to work with your council colleagues and with the community at large.
There are so many people in Austin who complain about high property taxes.
Sure.
What can be done?
So our number one priority at the City of Austin is our annual budget decision. For the last 5 years in a row, I'm proud of the work the council has done to hold the tax rate flat, or as we did this year, lower it. While it may not have that lowering effect on your overall tax bill, we at the City of Austin have learned and understood that we have to live within our means. We have to not just continually raise the tax rate. What's happening, as you know, is Austin is such a highly sought after city. More folks are moving here, property values are going up, and so consequently property tax bills are going up. We as a council, though, we have a responsibility to provide the services that our folks need to keep our community safe, to keep our libraries open, our parks open, but at the same time doing it within our own financial means. And I dare say we've done a good job of that over the last 5 years.
Do you see any areas of the city budget that would be prime targets to cut the spending?
I do. I have made a proposal that we need to shift our transfer from Austin Energy into the general fund. Our general fund needs to take over the core city services that are parks and libraries, police and fire. Austin Energy transfers about $110 million a year into the general fund. It's our largest asset, and it's a great asset. But what we're seeing in today's times is things like renewable energy are becoming more and more competitive. We need to be reinvesting in research and technology so that we can embrace the new wave of energy that's coming forward in the form of wind and solar, but also creating storage capacity so that when the sun goes down and the wind doesn't blow, we still have that renewable source of energy to provide electricity to our customers. That is one area where I think we can make drastic improvements as it relates to every year budgeting.
You hear talk from people who live not in the center city but in the outskirts of the city limits of Austin that they don't feel like they've been represented by the current council, and you're a member of the current council. Sure. How do you respond to those criticisms?
You know, I think it's a fair criticism. It's why I fought the hardest to make sure that we went to single-member districts. I believe that the at-large system had outlived its usefulness. I believe that residents were feeling truly like they weren't represented. I think that the new 10-1 council, and I think that single-member districts is going to change that. I think folks are going to finally have candidates that they elect from the areas of the community that they live in. I think it's a fair criticism. I think it's hard for us as council members to be everywhere that the folks want us throughout the entire city. We've certainly tried. We've certainly tried to respond to each and every concern that comes our way, but we are a big city and we need to act like a big city, and that's why I fought for single-member districts so that every corner of our city could have its own elected representative.
And obviously the makeup of the council will be very different this time around. How will you as mayor bring people together to work for the greater good of Austin?
I think that's going to be the highest responsibility of the next mayor. It's not to drive an agenda, but to get this new form of government off to the right start, ensuring that those council members from each and every one of those districts around the city of Austin understand that you represent your district and you should fight for your constituents, but you're an Austin council member, and we have broader policy issues that speak to all of Austin that we have to keep working on so that our city can still be the greatest city in the country. I think I have that skill set to bring those folks together in a collaborative way to find common ground, build on that common ground, and tackle the broader, tougher issues that we know we face as a community as it relates to transportation, affordability, and quality of life issues.
You are a supporter of the rail bond. A lot of folks believe it costs too much and does too little. Why do you support it?
It's one small component of a 50-year visioning for how we address transportation in our community and in our region, quite frankly. The bottom line is it's up to the voters. That's why we put it on the ballot. We didn't pass a rail referendum in the year of 2000. That would have been about a 51-mile system for about $1.8 billion. Today we're looking at 9.5 miles for $1.1 billion. The cost of not taking action only goes up over time, as we've seen in the last 14 years. We have to start taking big and bold steps to address things like traffic congestion, and that does mean a mass transit system that gives folks the alternatives. My vision is if you want to live in Austin and not own a car, you shouldn't have to, but that means we have to have a world-class public transit system as well.
But of course, the vast majority of folks do drive a car to work and elsewhere. What are your plans to fix traffic on I-35 and Mopac and the other arteries?
So the regional mobility plan that was just adopted by council is the highest priority for today's issues, but we have to look beyond today. That's what Project Connect does. It looks at Austin 30, 40, and 50 years from now, and we know that the growth that's going to occur is going to have that negative impact if we don't address this in a big way. Those are the kinds of things that we need to be looking forward to. We need to be planning for. The Proposition 1 also has a component of roads that's $400 million in road improvements in and around our city. Again, if the citizens adopt it, we need to put it in place as quickly as we can. If they don't, Capital Metro is financially sound and in a position to where we start looking at expanding our bus rapid transit lines and our fixed route services so that folks have that alternative transportation option as well.
I'll give you one more shot. Why should people vote for you, Mike?
You know, I think Austinites need a champion for the middle class. I think they need somebody who's got a proven record that will stand up to special interests and that will challenge staff when they're trying to raise your utility rates, when they're trying to make proposals that, quite frankly, we just don't need. We need a government that's helping folks that need it the most, not helping folks who don't need it. That's exactly what I've done as a council member, and it's exactly what I'll do as our mayor.
Mike Martinez, thanks for being with us
Robert.
today.
Appreciate it.